Welcome to the Breakup Recovery Podcasts by your host, Barbara Stevens. Discover the wisdom and remarkable insights of Barbara Stevens, breakup recovery mentor, author, and public speaker. Barbara offers programs and solutions for any breakup so you can turn your life around, create lasting changes for the better, and embrace life again.
Hi, I'm Barbara Stevens and welcome to Breakup Recovery Podcast. I have Julie with me today and thank you, Julie, for being willing to share your story. To start at the beginning, Julie, how did you meet your partner?
Well, I've had a few different partners, but the partner I'm going to talk about, I did meet this partner when I was 13. I was very young and he was a little bit older. He was a friend when I was in Navy cadets when I was younger. That's how I met him.
And how long did the relationship last?
So he went off to the Navy. I went off and started living my life. And I think when I was 38, there was going to be a reunion. And that's how we actually started connecting again on Facebook. So we started talking and we found out we only lived just down the road. Oh, well, I wouldn't say down the road, but like 50 k's away from each other. We started talking to each other and then we started having a relationship.
So how long did the relationship last?
My relationship with him lasted for over 6 years, off and on. I would say that I was never really ready to really commit, but there was always something with me with this partner that I just knew that just something wasn't right. And I mean, when I talk about right, not getting it right, the energy just didn't match. There was always something missing. And I mean, not that I wasn't incomplete or he was, but there was always this something that just didn't add up for me. He thought I was the one for him. I was the love of his life and everything. So he never really gave up on me and all like that. We kept always separating and then coming back together and then going off again and like that.
So other than the energy not being right and you not instantly knowing that he was the one, were there any other challenges in the relationship?
We were very different. So for me, I would call myself a seeker. I'm always looking for something different and all like that. I'm always looking that I know there's different possibilities in the world and I know there is something greater that anything's possible. And so as a seeker, that I'm always having gratitude. I just see the beauty in everything, in the good, in the bad, in the ugly, in the right and wrong. And with him, he was just very different. He would see all the negative all the time. He would just see what this reality is about and really just look at what he would call that he's a realist, that this is all we have nothing else, and this is what this reality is. Nothing can change. So for me, it was like we were very different. And again, people do say that opposite attracts. At the start, he was very caring. I haven't always had that caring in my life, but it isn't the caring that I know is possible, that I can give myself, and I know that is possible in the world. So at the start, the caring he had, it did sometimes was a bit of an illusion that I can look at it and would pull me in to feel that safety, but it wasn't really true safety. And when I talk about safety, like for me, it's really, we're told that we need to get married and have children. And so for me, to have a safety net underneath you and have savings and all like that, for me, that's all illusion because it never just felt right, because even if you had that, the energy never matched in this relationship that I have with this person.
So what actually caused the breakup of the relationship?
The breakup was really interesting. I was living in Queensland and then I chose to come back to New South Wales to live and really commit. So I came back for 18 months. And I would say I was really invested in, really getting the relationship right in that way. Is that because we had been off and on for 6 years. The relationship started breaking down when I didn't need him anymore. I wasn't needy. I started coming out of being in drama and the trauma and the pain and suffering. I watched my family and my mother and my father use drama and trauma and pain and suffering, and I've been a lot of times as saying I love the pain and suffering. When I started choosing, and this all started when I found these amazing tools called Access Consciousness tools. And these tools are really just pragmatic tools that just, if something's not working in your life, they just can change things. So for me, when I started using these tools and started looking at what this drama and trauma was really creating in my life and choices that I was making, I started choosing different choices. The breakdown was I was different. I was starting to change. And the difference was is that what I saw, and this is what I could see, that he couldn't control me anymore. He couldn't control me by the trauma and drama that he created and that he was going through. I didn't agree with a lot of these points of views that he had too. Instead of, always when I was in a drama or trauma, he would back me up. Where now, when I didn't agree with something, he would actually make me wrong about my point of view. And so, breaking down even more and more, this partner at the time, he would try to do things to make me feel like I was a bit safe in the relationship. So he did a lot of yoga with me, and he tried to do lots of different things. When he started doing the Access Consciousness tools, with these tools is if you are pretending that you are changing and you're not really, really choosing to change, it'll bring all the stuff up. And so with that, he had to make everything what I was doing was wrong.
Every aspect of your life?
Every part of my life. So anything that I did, I was wrong. He had to prove everything that I was doing. So I had the same business up in Queensland that he supported and really helped me develop an organic garden with me. And I set up a business in New South Wales, and he had to prove that to me that it wasn't going to work. He made it so difficult because he did not want me to succeed in that because, how much I was changing. When I asked him what was changing, he did say it was the tools, and I was changing. I was not the same person that he was, And then things started going down, so he would use things and do things that he knew I didn't like. One day he hit me, and he thought that would be my deal breaker to leave again because, he hasn't hit me in the past. But in the other time, if I wanted to do something, I would leave and then come back. And so that was that trauma and drama of being in a relationship, coming back and then getting back together. Where this time I was committed. So the deal breaker was when he hit me. I said, well, what was that for? Did not confront him, but I was saying, what are you doing that for? And that just threw him into a bigger spin because he had no control.
So what was his reply when you said, what was that for?
Because he knew that I would leave him.
So really, he didn't want to end the relationship. He wanted you to end the relationship.
So then we could go back into that cycle that we've been doing for the last 6 years, where I chose and went, no, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm committed to me and I'm committed to this relationship. But I'm really grateful for this relationship.
How did you feel when the relationship finally ended?
I really did, because I started really seeing what we both had created, and it got to that meanness of how mean he was to me, and how I call it the love and hate program. How can someone love you so much and then end up saying, I don't hate you, but I'm getting to hate you? And I could really see that program. And then for me, trying to fix it, I see it with clients I see, that they're so invested in saving or fixing a relationship, because if they don't fix it or save it, it goes back to them, that there's something wrong with them and they're not good enough, or there's something wrong with them. But it's not about you. When I saw it all ending, I really started seeing that I had different choices that I could choose, and that different possibilities could start coming out of that. And I could see that the way that I had been functioning in the past hadn't been really nurturing and caring for me.
So for you to get through your breakup, it was a process of self-awareness and understanding what you actually needed and didn't need.
Yeah, it was finding out too, and having that awareness for me is that I'm not needy. I would even say with my parents that I really got entrained and shown. And when I talk about entrained, I got taught how to be needy, to be needy someone. I remember I had a partner once and he said to me, "You're very needy." And I always, in Access Consciousness, when someone accuses you of something, they're usually doing it themselves. So it was something when I looked at that. So I went, okay, so I asked, my question is, show me, universe, of all the places where I'm doing needy right now. And that's where, yes, it took me 18 months, and it took me 18 months to finally for the relationship to end, but I haven't looked back. I haven't even talked back to him. I've looked at him and gone, okay, that's what he's choosing. I can choose something different. And so for me, it was about having the nurturing and the caring, and like having true caring about me, that what's going to work for me, what kind of relationships work for me. When you start choosing what works for you and what is different for you, your whole life starts to change. A lot of times people around you can be there for you even more and they start to change, or like this partner wasn't willing to change their point of view, wasn't willing to change anything, was happy in the drama, the trauma, happy with the pain and suffering. Even if they don't know it, was happy. I'm not.
It'd take you 18 months to get over your breakup and be more self-aware of what you needed in life? Or did you do that process before the actual breakup?
Within. That's what I'm so grateful. When I came back to New South Wales, it's been 18 months that I chose to be in that relationship, and I did choose to be unaware sometimes of the choices that I was choosing. But at the same time, it was the 18 months. And then it's been nearly 3 months since the complete breakup. Even when we were in the relationship, we had broken up while we were still living. I really looked at what I gained out of the relationship. I gained strength out of it. I gained that I know myself more than I've ever known myself. I know that needy energy doesn't work for me, and it may have taken me 40 years to really have that awareness in me. At the same time, taught that from my parents. I'm not making my parents right or wrong. I'm not blaming them, but that's what they knew. That's what they knew from their lives. And so like with my parents, they saved each other. They hated each other, but they stayed married because they made that one choice. They weren't willing to change anything. They show me how to be really needy for a person and trying to get it right. I would be saying, if I look back through all of my relationships, I've been trying to be getting it right, so then I can say to my parents, wow, I got a relationship right. For me, that's a lie, because it's not about getting it right. It's not about getting it wrong. It's about knowing what's best for you, what's caring for you, and what's joyful for me now. And so to have a lot of gratitude for that is just amazing from this relationship. So I don't hate him. I don't love him. I'm just very grateful that he showed me a part of myself that I was, settling for second best. And he used to say to me all the time, I'm second best. You always choose me second best. And so for me, I'm not talking about it as a mirror, but I looked at it and I went, am I choosing second best for me? Because when you choose for you, then everything just falls in, because then you'll be choosing not just for you, you will be choosing for other people.
So I guess this breakup has given you an awareness that you can use not only for other relationships, but every other aspect in your life.
Yes.
Thank you, Julie, for sharing your insights today about your breakup and how it gave you an awareness that you've been able to use in all aspects of your life. And I think I'm going to have to get you back so that we can talk more about the access consciousness and the tools that you've used that might be of great benefit to some of our listeners in this podcast. So thank you once again, Julie, for your honesty.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on. I so enjoyed it.
If you would like to hear previous Breakup Recovery podcasts, visit barbarastevens.com.au. Connect with Barbara Stevens on social media with Barbara Stevens Breakup Recovery Mentor on Facebook and at You'll Be Okay on Twitter. Read further blogs, view webinar replays, and download your free ebook, 3 Easy Steps to Surviving Your Breakup, and much more at barbarastevens.com.au.